What else on?
Shit. What do we have? We could either go into Dr. Umar.
Run it. You already said it.
And, okay.
You got the clip?
I don't got it. Oh, well, I sent it in the chat again.
Let's see.
Oh, we got a break in the action. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down low. Make sure you hit that like button. Share it to your friend. Let them know. Limitless views. Whole lot of views. All right. We had to come up with a name for our
turned up
visit.
It was systemic. All right. So how if we giving them grace for them having to do it without us, but it wasn't our fault, how we not getting that same grace and that same respect?
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because black men, as the leaders of the community, now
we can't be leaders.
Here's the question we got to make. That? Here's the question. Because the argument y'all make, feeds into the feminist agenda.
Okay,
it's an argument that says I don't want the responsibility.
I'm a leader.
I don't want to fix shit. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna fall back and let her run everything. That's what the feminists tell. They say, look at them, making excuses for why they can't be better men, making excuses for why they can't make better men. You understand? Your argument feeds the feminist narrative. That's dangerous.
That's not what we're making excuses for.
I'm saying I am the better man, but I shouldn't be held responsible because you wanted to choose a Pookie and a Ray Ray. That's not me. I worked too hard in my life.
Back to what I said. Pookie and Ray Ray shouldn't exist. And the only reason why Pookie and Ray Ray exist because we're not in the community making those boys the men they need to be. Do you see that? And she don't get a Pookie if you didn't allow a Pookie.
But she got an Eli. She ain't come to Eli. She went to Pookie. And that's what we're trying to say.
She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow one.
I worked too hard in my life.
She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow one.
But Dr. Umar, we
men supposed to make the boys the boys.
Right.
Like this
we as men is holding other men accountable for the same thing that you talking about right now.
What are we doing for the young brothers in the street?
All right.
Okay.
The caption reads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black men created masculine women.
That's what the argument was about?
I watched that episode too.
Can we define a masculine woman?
I was about to say a name, but I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, come on now.
Let's not do that.
No. I think when I think of a masculine woman, I think of a woman who doesn't take well to submission, who always wants to be in control, who cannot be led, who is more on the aggressive side versus the softer, nurturing, feminine side.
Okay.
Probably have like manly tendencies, like let's see.
Real quick,
Like
I don't mean to interject, but do you think like to say like how like single moms really like how they take on a lot of like responsibilities themselves, right? Like, okay,
they got to be the authoritarian. They can't really reside in that feminine energy. They got to always kind of be on edge, like almost like a woman who has like a higher like ranking position in like corporate America, who has to deal with a bunch of men. They're typically more on that masculine side because they're dealing with a bunch of men all day.
Do you think all women have a feminine side?
Yeah, I think it's just a natural. That's the natural order of things, like the masculine and feminine energy. Like,
so I feel like one thing I've noticed about masculine women is they're like that with most people, but there's always that one nigga.
Yeah,
of course. I don't want to say that shit. How do I say that? Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. There's always that one nigga that'll put her to her knees type shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that they would submit to, basically.
Yeah.
Not submit in the sense of like how y'all twist my motherfucking words.
Yeah, but it's you can't just be anybody.
Submit to like in the same way that a man submits to a woman. You know what I'm saying? In regards to being submissive and open.
You don't think a man should submit to a woman?
You want to explain that one?
He said it. I ain't said it.
I think you should be somewhat submissive with your woman.
Explain. In what ways?
Being open with, you know what I'm saying, your feelings, being able to, you know what I'm saying, explain. Like, not like in the sense of like how like a woman is submissive to a man, because like I feel like men's submissiveness to a woman is different. Like the shit that we do for women, like and everything. I don't know. I don't want to go too.
Let's not digress. Let's not digress.
Too far in the hole, but I just think there's different things that men are submissive to women than men. It's just like
okay.
I don't know. I don't even know what I was talking about when I said that shit.
Let's not digress.
All right. So, do you think black men have created masculine women?
I don't like the color thing. I don't like that. Do I think men have created masculine?
It's a good example though, because like you think about like the idea of the single mom raising men and without the black fathers being in the household, right? So like that's what's going to create a more masculine woman.
I just want to take the black out of it. I don't like that.
To make it micro, I mean, like it's easy to comprehend. I think
no, it's
Is
not
it macro.
Well, it's more prevalent for the black community because going back to the lack of fathers.
It ain't only black people not being dads out here. You got the Hispanic dad.
The conversation was about Pookie and Ray Ray's.
And the black fathers were targeted, like actually targeted back in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
They wasn't targeting the
back when
community.
people were actually named Pookie and Ray Ray.
And that's where all of this is stemming from. And now we are now seeing the long-term effects of it, which the conversation was about.
I still don't like the, like I said, I'll disagree. I don't like saying black man because it just sounds, I don't like putting black people in that type of negative box, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just the black community.
I don't think it's a negative box. I think it's just I wouldn't even say like a trait. I just think it's just it's a fact. We have facts that show that black men haven't really been in the household like that since the 80s, since we talk about
I just think men in general just haven't been in the house. I really just don't like
that whole mass incarceration with was it Reagan?
Yeah, Reagan and Nixon, one of them niggas.
Like that
war on drugs, I think was Nixon.
That was targeted towards the black community.
Right.
So like that played, and then the whole war on drugs and all that, like
which I understand.
Pumping drugs into our community.
That's 100%.
That's
harsher penalties.
They still do that shit,
but that's targeting our community more.
It is. I just don't like
and that's what created the microcosm of masculine black women.
I just don't like, because this is my thing. I just don't want to say black. I just don't want to target, you know what I'm saying, black women, and they're saying, oh, black men made black women masculine. I will agree.
But that's what they were talking.
That's what they were talking about. Yes, and that's where I just don't like it. It just doesn't, because it's just not fair. It's not fair to black women. It's not fair to black men. I think in general, have men made women more masculine? Yes.
So you think in the white community
it exists? Asian, Hispanic,
as
black,
prevalent as it is in our community.
Yes, I mean I don't know the statistics on it. So is it possible that within the black community it is higher? Yes. However, it's not like it's non-existent in the white community. It's not like it's non-existent in the, you know what I'm saying, the Latino community.
is would you say is populating the prisons?
Do you really want to ask me that?
Yeah.
We all know the answer to that. It's been the same for years.
Is Hispanics and African Americans?
Ain't no man. Listen, we know how many niggas is in there, man. We gotta count, bro. I listen. So I get where you coming from, Yadie, in regards to like
understand where I'm coming from when you ask me that question.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying like, so outside of that, I understand your statement of saying like, okay, listen, all fathers in different cases haven't been there,
right?
But I think to dismiss the conversation of not even just saying that it's just black fathers. We're not saying that it's just black fathers.
Fucked up. Like I just don't like the target. It's like we targeting each other with that.
All right, but let's say we're not just saying it's just black fathers, but we are. Let's say we are having that conversation about. Know what I'm saying, the black community. And we talk about that. So we talk about he was talking about like the Pookie and the Ray Rays and shit. Actually, you know what? Let's take a time out. We'll wait for Ant to come back.
Why?
So he can be a part of the conversation.
You ain't gonna take that long. Go ahead, finish your statement.
But yeah, so what was I saying? Pookie and Ray Rays. Yeah, so Dr. Umar's point was because on the opposite side they were saying that, you know what I'm saying, I shouldn't have to deal with that. She chose a Pookie and a Ray Ray to be able to procreate, make whatever.
Right.
So Dr. Umar is saying that, okay, listen, you know what I'm saying, with the facts that we know about the absentee black fathers, and he is saying that we, black men, created the Pookie and Ray Rays because we allowed that to continue happening because we weren't in our communities and we weren't creating those foundations that we should have to keep, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that black men got to where we're supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that is the conversation, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not that like black, all right, we talking about like black men and them not being like, we know.
So the conversation was more so, what it sounds like to me is just women, okay, you want to say black women just made terrible
Pookie
choices.
and Ray Rays.
And who?
I don't know no white Pookies.
Nah, listen, so it sounds like more so they were saying like, because I really didn't watch the clip. It sounds like they were saying like black women made a conscious, however, wrong choice of who they procreated with.
Pookie and Ray Ray.
Yes.
Right. Like they knew the life that they lived. They knew what they was into, and they knew what the consequences would be if shit went south, which it did. And that's what created masculine black women.
And Dr. Umar is basically saying, hey, like, no, it's our responsibility as men to make sure there aren't even any of the Pookie and Ray Ray
to prevent them from becoming that.
We have to be doing what we need to be doing as men so they could be doing what they need to be doing as women. But since they weren't in the households and they weren't doing what they needed to do, it is now our fault for that.
Who's our fault when they say that? Men in general. I mean, I still, and that's the thing. I would, okay, then I gotta disagree. You can't, you know what I'm saying? If you decide you fucking with a street nigga and y'all have a kid, you gotta know what come with that. We can't, you know what I'm saying? Like if
that's a cop out.
How does it cop out?
That's a cop out.
You think it's my fault as a black man if I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do to stay, you know what I'm saying, on the right side of the tracks type shit, and a shorty decide instead of fuck with me, you know what I'm saying, she want to fuck with a street nigga, and he gets locked up after y'all have a kid. That's my fault.
So the situation that you were, so we're saying that situation that you're saying that, all right, she chose to meet with the Pookie and the Ray Ray. What Dr. Umar is saying that black men, you know what I'm saying, are supposed to have that foundation over the men so that they don't grow up to become Pookie and Ray Rays. That's like that I get what you're saying. Like, okay, yeah, she chose a Pookie. Listen, you can have a baby with anybody, but the fact that there are Pookie and Ray Rays, you know what I'm saying, that would be our fault. That because we didn't create that foundation to be able to, you know what I'm saying,
I don't know,
prevent the Pookie and Ray Rays from being there.
I don't want to take responsibility for that. I feel like I got no say in what women are attracted to. If that's what they decide that they want to rock with, that's what they rock with. I can't, and I don't got kids, so. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do what you needed to do to find niggas like us type shit. You decided to, you know what I'm saying, fuck around with niggas that just wasn't doing what they were supposed to do as men. I can't completely fault men for doing what niggas do. Niggas do all kinds of different things. And if you decide to have a child with somebody that was doing shit they wasn't supposed to be doing, even at the time it was all fun and games until I'm not taking responsibility for that.
I'm not, so I think you're mixing up where the responsibility is.
You're saying you're trying to say like back then those niggas then back then who then father or people who father children.
No.
They don't do what they're supposed to.
Outside of the Pookie and Ray Rays, you're not a Pookie. I'm not a Ray Ray. Mm-hmm. Now I'm saying the what he's saying is that outside of them, there was no foundation from other good black fathers or good black men that were being able to prevent the Pookie and Ray Rays from coming up into the community.
We can't listen, man. We can't control what niggas do, bro. We could set the example. We could tell them right from wrong. Tell them what they need to do. If they decide not to, that's out of my control.
Yeah, and that Dr. Umar is saying that black men and men should have taken more of the responsibility to prevent that. I agree with what he's saying. I do think that, you know what I'm saying, if we had, like, you think about growing up, you know what I'm saying, we had more of a black community, black presence, like of older black men that we see in the community, it would have been beneficial.
Stop. All right, I ain't gonna do that.
Nigga, I know there wasn't. Okay. We didn't have that.
I'm about to say. So I'm like,
so I'm saying that's what I'm saying, because we didn't have that. If we did have the ideal foundation that Dr. Umar is paying out of, like, all right, if black men were able to, you know what I'm saying, get back into the community, you know what I'm saying, make sure we were straight so that we didn't create any more Pookie and Ray Rays, the drugs and all that shit. We good on that shit because we made sure that it was gone. We didn't do that. that whole perfect utopia.
I don't know, man. People got choices. I'm not.
Where I'm at with it is like, I think, and I've always had this stance, like when it comes to this whole, like, if you want to call it gender war or whatever you want to call it, is that we as men and them as women should be focusing on our own sides, improving our own sides. And that way, when we do try to go to that side and present ourselves to that side, we're in a position where we can wholeheartedly give ourselves to them. So I agree with Dr. Umar when he says, like, all right, yeah, there shouldn't be no Pookies and Ray Rays in the community, because now all they're doing essentially is making it worse and harder for us at the end of the day.
Right.
Because they're setting the example. They're doing what they're doing and essentially creating these masculine women, because now they're not in the household and they're not holding their end of the bargain up. And they're creating these masculine women. I get where you coming from. Like, you can't control what everybody else is doing. You only control what you do and what you put out into the universe. But if we don't hold like ourselves accountable, that's like us as friends knowing like one of us.
I just lost $5,000, and I'm saying, like, fuck it, I'm gonna go with more. And y'all don't.
That's what I'm saying. Even if we set the example, we tell you right from wrong, and you still decide to do what you want to do. How am I gonna take responsibility for that? There's people who I know, like, you know what I'm saying, who are on, you know what I'm saying, different roles that than we on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You could tell them to you blue in the fucking face, like, yo, you bugging, you wilding. This is not what you need to be doing. You could tell them the consequences. They know all this shit. You set the example. You show them that it's a better way, but they don't want to do it. They're not going to do it.
I think Dr. Umar is saying that wasn't there. The foundation of a black community.
I mean, so that's the thing. Black people have always, we've had it. We've always been, you know what I'm saying, on the we've always been on that side where, you know what I'm saying, we were at a disadvantage compared to other communities.
I think 100%. I think as a black community, like I think we could have did all we had, like you said, we're holding ourselves accountable. I think as a black community, you know what I'm saying, as much as I like to say or point, like, not point, like, blame, but like I'll say like this is because of this, is because of that, but like at that, like, and saying at the end of the day, as a black community, there's a lot more that we could be doing that to better all of ourselves.
I mean, we could. But
I think that a part of that is what Dr. Umar is saying. I think he's saying that, like, I think if we held ourselves accountable, we really locked in and locked down from back then, it would have been a different. I just think I do think that the black community lacked in some cases of making sure that we continue to thrive.
Man, maybe I'm just
the cards were stacked against us, so it's like, you know what I mean, like, at the end of the day, but there's still things that I feel like we as a people could have did.
I just don't see how.
But I wish we would have did, and it's hard. It's hard to say because, like I said, the circumstances, and
I just don't see how that. I just don't see how that.
It's easy to say if I was a slave, master, I ain't doing that shit,
and I just don't
better suck my dick. Like, it's easy to say that I would have said that to master now, but like back then, I'm right.
And I just don't see how that then transfers to, it's our fault for these black masculine women, which isn't,
because the black father was taken out of the household. You know what I'm saying?
He took himself out the household.
No. It was a strategic, methodical effort,
science
by this country,
right? Which still exists.
But so they didn't take themselves out. It's kind of like they were
removed.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, so for you to be like, they took themselves out the household, I don't agree with that.
For me, it's
the cycle started with them being removed.
Don't get me wrong. There's a cycle, and there's choices. You get what I'm saying? Not everybody. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody who was taken out of their household was unjust. You get what I'm saying?
So mass incarceration was
different.
That's what
majority of them were taken out of their households.
And mass incarceration stemmed from
Mass incarceration. I don't know what you.
What is
slavery?
What is?
No, it wasn't.
I was about to say that's too far.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't slavery.
Slavery, bro. That's
way too
literally
far.
what the mass incarceration came from slavery, bro. Watch the 13th Amendment, bro. They talk about that shit, bro. They fucking put in the amendment like, all right, slavery is gone, but if you get locked up, you could like
so
type shit.
All right, but like as far as like when it goes back to like I said, the Reagan administration and all that.
Because we talking about the Pookies
war on
and
drugs.
the Ray Rays, the niggas who's out in the street selling crack. Selling, you know what I'm saying, doing what they got to do.
You talking about the very beginning of the crack, right, at the very beginning of the crack.
If you're pumping drugs into a community and then taking resources out and then essentially telling them like, listen, this is the only way y'all gonna make money. But if you get caught making money this way, we'll send you to jail.
And you getting more years than the motherfuckers, the white people.
If you make that choice, like, hey, fuck it, we finna risk it.
Bro,
and I'm not saying you wrong for listen. I'm not saying you wrong for doing it, but at the end of the day, a choice got made.
I think you missing the thing is that there would like I get it. Where the fault would lay in regards to the science of them taking the black man out of the community, right there, that point in time. Know what I'm saying? That spawned all of the things that you're saying and everything. But I don't know. I can't just sweep that and be like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Niggas make choices. This shit happens. You know what I'm saying? It's still happening today and niggas still making choices.
Like, I'm tired of people, like, for me, like, I don't point the finger at.
So you don't think there could have been more that, you know what I'm saying, older black man could have did for you in your life? And
those people existed, but us as black people, we ignored it. We were just like, nah, nigga, I'm gonna just continue to, you know what I'm saying, cut this shit up, do what I gotta do.
Nah, man, nah.
Cause you know what I'm saying, it's that fast money. This what we, you know what I'm saying, this how we do it. This how I make it happen. I know if they catch me, I'm gonna get taken away from my family, but I'm gonna still do it.
When your back is against the wall, and
you're gonna do what you gotta do.
We speaking from a place where we don't even have a family that we have to provide for. Like we speaking from that place. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, like
different.
If somebody's taking all your resources, redlining, putting you all in this one community, and basically telling like, listen, you gotta fend for yourself and figure this shit out, but we're gonna put these little traps in all throughout your community to get you jammed up.
Come here.
You gotta. You now have to. You fighting an uphill battle at that point.
You are.
Then you got Clinton with the 3-strike rule.
Still fighting
it's easier now, but it's easier said than done, especially like when it's like literally a strategic like method behind all of this. Like this is none of this is by accident.
Not at all.
So I can't agree with like, oh yeah, like yeah, you had a choice and like nah, when you got a family and you gotta figure something out.
And that's what I said, I'm not faulting them for making that choice. However, a choice was still made. So I wasn't there back then. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that I was put in that same scenario because obviously I'm too young for that. By the time I became of age to start getting money and shit like that, there were more resources available to me, you know what I'm saying, to do so. Yeah, shit's still rough out here trying to just make a living these days. However, I don't have to resort to certain things, but there are still people that still do. So I can only speak for like now. You get what I'm saying? There's still people that still make that choice to do this, pay those consequences, and either change their ways or go right back to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a type of nigga where I can't speak for all that.
Even the people who are doing it now, all it is a byproduct of what was being done so many years ago.
And I can't take fault for that.
The results of it is still in effect.
Like I said, the examples are out there of black people, black men bettering themselves in other ways that don't get them in them situations to where they aren't there for their families. If you make the choice that you're going to ignore those methods and just go it's not easy, but the easier route, I can't take responsibility for that.
What if it's the only route? A lot of
that's the thing. It's
for a lot of people it is.
Yeah, man.
Why?
Like you can't just
they're in it. We are essentially speaking from like a place of like not even privilege, but just like I'm saying that from the sense that we didn't grow up in a Flint, Michigan. We didn't grow up in a New Orleans. We didn't grow up in those type of communities where it's really like we think where we grew up, we had it rough. Like other black communities who have had it 10 times worse.
Right,
than
they
us.
grew up in shacks.
So it's easy
shit
to
like
say
that.
like, yeah, we didn't have to take that route, and we had other options, but not everybody has the options that we had.
Right.
So it's easy. It's easy to say from a place where like, all right, we're presented with where we can find careers that are now, you know what I'm saying, improving our lives.
Right.
Not everybody is provided that same type of, especially
100%.
if you look like us. Mm-hmm. No, it don't work like that.
100%. But like I said, I'm still refuse to take responsibility for what quote unquote Pookies and Rays, because I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not him. And then at that point,
that is more about like the black community and the responsibility that we need to take of our fault.
and that's what I'm saying. And I can't do that because I'm not on the same. I don't walk that same line. And I have 100%, but I didn't.
Okay. I think
I would, you know what I'm saying? Us as black men, we have set the example of the line you can walk. You get what I'm saying?
I think
So that's where it's just like it's hard for me to.
I think with
And
Dr.
we
Umar
didn't, none of us, because he said privilege. I don't like the fact that you said niggas grew up privileged, because that sounds insane to me.
We grew up in a situation where we didn't have to resort to do well. I think you was more saying like, it could be worse.
It could be. Yeah, I didn't.
Like Harvard is bad. Like don't get it wrong.
Did you ever go without a meal?
I ain't gonna speak about that.
Nah, I mean, type shit. Yeah, like, but like
This nigga, he had a whole room to himself.
You forgot where my parents came from. When I was younger, like it
I know, but as you got older,
as I got older, and that's why I said, look where my parents came from.
But not everybody is afforded the same opportunity.
But it's not like they were afforded that same opportunity.
some people's parents came from that and still in that.
Stayed and stood in that. You get what I'm saying? That
So
shit
you don't think that their choices would be different than the choices that you had?
who's
The dude.
no, because guess what? Both of my parents could have stayed there. They had them decisions to. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but all right. Let's say all right. But I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. You grew up in that byproduct of your parents,
right?
Of them. Know what I'm saying they got to it. Know what I'm saying? They made sure you ain't never. Know what I'm saying? Really want for anything. They made sure you were straight. They made sure you was alive.
They made sure
they did what parents needed to do.
I was about to say, because y'all talking like
no, but
especially because y'all both
no,
at a better time in life.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying
know.
No, I'm not. I'm not even saying whatever it is that it is. I'm just saying like for you to you grew up in a household of parents that loved you, that provided for you.
Pause. I grew up with my mom, sir.
You grew up with your mom, and she loved you and provided for you and made sure you was right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have that. Mm-hmm. So with you growing up in that environment of your mom, now to she getting, you seeing her getting it, you want to get to it, and I'm saying that person that doesn't have that, their choices are going to be different than where you end up in life. Like
look at all these these drill rappers and people in New York who are like, it's either you join a gang or or it's quiet for you out here. Like you have no other choice because of the circumstances that are presented to you.
For me, man, it's always options. Yeah. The other option that you have, it sounds impossible and it sounds very difficult, few far, but and I understand that. I do. But
this nigga ain't sympathetic at all. The plight,
that's like that lift yourself up by the bootstraps mentality. Like
I you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get where you coming from though.
I can't. I get it. I really can't. You know what I'm saying? I done seen I done been in, you know what I'm saying, where the heat in the crib got cut off. You understand what I'm saying? I done been there where my mom couldn't, you know what I'm saying, give us nothing to eat that day, but we just had to, you know what I'm saying, hold that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be trying to make it. All right, I'm not gonna do that.
No. I'm
not gonna do that.
I think like I'm saying, we got a little bit more deep in regards to the conversation regarding Dr. Umar. You know what I'm saying? I think to wrap it really all up is I think that, you know what I'm saying, like, not to take 100% blame, you know what I'm saying? I think the absentness of black fathers, you know what I'm saying, and then the black fathers that didn't go in, I think I don't know. I think us as black people could do more for each other. You know what I'm saying? We could have been more united in a lot of things that could have spawned not the Pookie and Ray Rays.
And still can be, but I think we still are at this point in time where we kind of essentially are still just moving backwards. Like,
and that's where it's hard. And that's where it's hard for me to agree with it, because it's like we're at a point now where there is more opportunity out there for us, and there is still so many that don't take advantage.
But that's all by design, though. Like
it is all by design, 100%.
You look at the TV shows, the movies, the music. It's all by design to create division between,
right?
And it's mainly between our community.
And the thing is, but one thing I have recognized is us as black people, we are strong people. We got the loudest fucking voices.
Look where we came from.
We got the loudest.
They brought us over here in chains and shackles, you know what I'm saying? And we are now.
We got the loudest fucking voices,
but we're not using it,
and we're not using it. So that's where it's tough for me to be like, yeah, because it's like there are so many black people out there that have done it, set the example, did what they supposed to do. Other black people, if you choose to ignore it, like what else you want me to hold your hand?
So you saying that you have to take responsibility in regards to black people. We all as black people got to take that responsibility.
All I can do as
so you agree with Dr. Umar?
No, what I'm saying is all I can do as a black man is set example. That's all I can do.
I feel like it's easy to set an example. You know what I'm saying? It's hard.
According to y'all, it's not.
No. It's easy to like hold yourself in a perfect light and then show them what they do. Not. But I'm saying that there could be more done.
Yeah.
There could be more done. Know what I'm saying?
So you think us as black people we supposed to find all the poogies?
I think us as black men should be more willingful, and I think we should be doing more to reach out to, you know what I'm saying, pre-Pookie and Ray Rays to prevent them from becoming. I take responsibility for it. I do, because there's more that I could do. I have nephews, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. No, I mean that I could be doing more. So like I take responsibility in regards to like them not having that older black figure. I don't know.
It's each one teach one at the end of the day.
Yeah. So and I wholeheartedly believe in that. And like, I mean, I know I'm failing, but we could pivot.
What we got? What are we at for